Hello and welcome aboard to this episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to following the entire story of One Piece from beginning to end as we focus on one volume each episode. We keep the discussion spoiler-free for new fans of the series, so this is the perfect place to follow along, whether you're new to the series or just want to revisit the world of One Piece with us. This week we will be covering volume 36, The Ninth Justice, which covers chapters 337 through 346. My name is Joel and I'll be your host. Joining me today we have Sean.
This is Sean.
Evan.
This is Evan.
And Cody.
This is Cody.
All right, so we had a pretty intense volume last time. So just to give a little recap, the Straw Hats were informed that the Going Merry could not be repaired and is in such bad shape it would not make it to the next island. Luffy refused to accept what he was hearing, but Iceberg dismissed him upon the arrival of the world government official Corgi. When getting ready to take their money and leave, Luffy noticed the money was missing from two of the cases, along with Usopp. Usopp was taken and beaten by the Frankie family. Determined not to be the reason they could not repair their Merry, Usopp decided to confront the Frankie family alone and was once again brutally beaten. The leader, Frankie, took the 200 million berries and left on the sea train to spend it on something he's been trying to achieve for some time. Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and Chopper took on the Frankie family while the leader was running this errand, taking out the entire group along with her home. Luffy decided that it's time to say goodbye to the Merry and start looking for new ships. They returned with Usopp back to the ship and relayed the news to him about the Merry, but he would not accept this. After a fight with Luffy, Usopp made the decision to leave the crew and challenge his former captain to a duel for the ownership of the Merry. Usopp put up a good fight, but was ultimately defeated. Luffy left the Merry to Usopp while the remaining Straw Hats set up base at an inn. The following morning, news got out that there was an assassination attempt on Iceberg, though he survived. When Iceberg awoke from his coma, he told his employees that it was Nico Robin who tried to kill him. They're able to find out that Robin has been associating with the Straw Hats. Meanwhile, the weather has been picking up, indicating to the citizens of Water 7 to begin making preparations for the annual storm known as Aqua Laguna, where a tide submerges the entire city. Nami heard of the assassination attempt and decided to head into town with Luffy to find out what was going on. They were not able to get through the crowds before Frankie made his appearance and challenged Luffy, who was eager to accept. During their fight, they were interrupted by the Carpenters of Galley Law, who were here to make sure Luffy and his crew were stopped. Yeah, so a lot of bad stuff happening. The crew's kind of in shambles. There's there's a lot going on here, so yeah, we didn't leave him in a good place.
A lot of emotions.
Yeah, very emotional.
Yeah, can I ask something or
no?
So
yeah.
No, sorry. I wasn't unable to make last week, and because of prior commitment, I am saddened that I was unable to. But because the Luffy Usopp stuff in this segment is like it's not my top 5, but it's in it may be my top 10 favorite parts of the series in terms of it's woo, what a fun, awesome adventure. But it is one of the most just grueling things in the whole series. And I particularly wanted to you don't have to echo your thoughts on that, Evan, but because I didn't have a chance to listen to last week's episode. Evan, what did you think? During that whole thing with the Merry and Usopp, and I just want to know.
Yeah, we had a pretty great discussion about it last week, but it's something we haven't seen from Oda yet, and it's the first time we've seen major turmoil within the crew, and so it hit hard. It hit heavy, and something that we were all talking about was how the whole time I was so optimistic that at any moment this would just turn around and resolve itself and get fixed, or they'd go back on one of them would go back on their word and they'd be able to make peace. But to see it go all the way through to the climax that it came to, it was pretty heartbreaking. And it's just one thing after another. I mean,
perfectly put.
This whole arc's been really intense and very emotional, and it just continues in this volume. So I'm really excited to get into it.
Yeah, how about you, Sean? Do you want to give us like a quick little blurb about your thoughts from last week?
Yeah, no, I mean it is just an absolute gut punch, and it really is. It's the sense
Literally.
of like, you understand both points of view. You get where like, and like Usopp, like you understand where he's just like, y'all, you don't get it. Like I've been keeping this thing together now for months, and you're like, and like I have been patching this thing up with blood, sweat, tears, and duct tape, and y'all are like, tough shit. Like in his mind, that's what they're doing. Like, oh well, move on to the next hunk of junk. Like it's this sort of like it feels like a betrayal. But so you get that, but you also get Luffy just being like what do you want to do? Ride the corpse into the wind? Like do you want to like end up like God forbid we end up in a storm or something? Then not only is the Mary dying, we're all potentially dying. I can't swim. Like Nico, Robin can't swim. Like Chopper can't swim. Like what do we like? We're screwed. Like so it's like you get it. You get both sides of this.
Yeah, it's just like Usopp's having a hard time like accepting the reality, and like we kind of mentioned it as well, is that because like Usopp was like not present for like the entire conversation that was happening, and like he found this information after the fact. The rest of the crew had time to process this. Usopp did not, and
he's
like
told
Usopp,
secondhand. Yeah,
right.
And Usopp has
and he's told after the decision's been made.
Yeah,
right.
He has no input on the initial discussion. They're just like, it's like a parent coming home and like, no, we're not going to Disney World. I'm like, when? Oh, well, I talked with your uncle like 7 hours ago. Well, why didn't I get to talk with my uncle?
Right. Yep. I don't trust that uncle. I don't trust those shipwrights.
Yeah, I just want to get some quick thoughts because it was a big moment in the story. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about in this volume as well. So let's dive into Gadatsu's Unexpected Life on the Blue Sea, Volume 21, The Unexpected Arrival at the Desert Oasis. Gadatsu, Goro, and the Earth Boss arrive at the Oasis in Yuba City in Alabasta.
It means boss.
Yep. So
answers our burning question from
last time.
They just gave it to us a volume later. So Google Translate said number, but there might have been something missing from that context. Here they say it's boss. So not number, boss makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, Oda's all about the payoff, so make us wait for it.
And we have a little cameo here from Koza.
Yep.
Which is how we know that they're in Alabasta.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Nice.
I just love seeing everything connect like that.
All right, let's move on to the main chapter. Chapter 337, Protectors of the City of Water. The crowd cheers for the arrival of the galley law foreman. Nami is relieved that they will surely help them. Frankie tells him to butt out, despite the destruction he caused at Dock 1 during his fight with Luffy. The four men say that they'll have to deal with Frankie later, as they're here for Straw Hat, to Luffy's confusion. Polly tells Luffy not to play dumb and attacks him with his ropes. Frankie becomes upset that they're taking his opponent, as he wants to be the one to settle the score. After the foremen gang up on Luffy, he asks why they're doing this. Polly accuses Luffy for being responsible for the attack on Iceberg last night. Luffy is even more confused and has no idea why they would suspect him. They go on to explain that Iceberg identified Robin as one of the assassins, who is one of their friends. This comes as a complete shock to Luffy and Nami, but now the crowd becomes even more fired up at this news. Frankie seems concerned that Iceberg was killed, but Polly reassures him that he's still alive, but they aren't going to give Luffy another chance to make an attempt on the mayor's life. Kaku makes it clear that the world laws won't protect the lives of the outlaw pirates, so they can kill Luffy without consequence. Luffy shouts that they don't know Robin, there's no way she would have attempted to assassinate Iceberg. The news has now spread throughout Water 7 that Straw Hats were behind the attack, which Robin learns as well while reading the newspaper. Yeah, so thoughts on this one?
Robin in. We haven't seen Robin in like full volume.
There she is. She's
There
fine.
she is. Just reading the newspaper.
It's just somehow things keep going from bad to worse to even worse to like somehow even more worse than that.
Yep.
How many layers of worse can we just keep piling on?
I feel like that's just like what Oda asked himself this arc. Like, how bad can I make it?
He's really outdone himself this time.
Hats off to him.
We were in the clouds, and now we are rocketing past the Earth's crust down back to just absolute misery.
We're like the Earth boss over here, digging holes in the ground.
Hey. To I guess keep going with my Iceberg Luffy comparison agenda from last time. And this is a note that I wrote like literally the day after last time, so I might have the context in my brain that I thought I did, but I have a note saying it's an interesting contrast with the Galley Lot being preventative in this fight with Luffy, saying, hey, you know, things went down last night, we're going to make sure nothing else happens.
Yeah.
Whereas from both Luffy's and Frankie's side, it's more, oh, I couldn't protect this person. The damage is done. Right now, it's more vengeful than anything.
Mm.
And also, I guess, as opposed to like Luffy avenging Usopp or Frankie avenging his family, it's the crew, the shipwrights, protecting their own leader, Iceberg.
Yeah, so everybody seems to be like trying to protect their group in their own way.
Yeah.
And they're prioritizing Iceberg over Doc 1 because Doc 1 is just getting absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, it's about to be a scrapyard.
The former Doc 1.
It's cool getting to see Galley Law in action, all fighting together, and Luffy doing his best to evade and not get involved. But
unfortunately, he's just kind of like caught in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he's not attacking. He's only dodging.
Yeah, he's just trying to find out like what's going on. It's like, why you guys attack me? I thought we were friends. Like, I thought we're all good. Like, what I do to you guys.
I also love the fighting styles of the Doc 1 foreman as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like the rope action. I never thought I'd see like putty knives being used as an actual weapon, but like Haku came through with that. Like, nice.
That was a nice touch. Yeah. Yeah, and Paulie using ropes. So not a double fruit user, but he just is skilled with using ropes, which is a very unique fighting style.
Yeah, they all got their tools.
And they're all really versatile too. Some really cool or I guess some really fun little Frankieisms in this one too.
Yes.
I mean, it was just at that age, that awkward age when they just, dude, come on. Did you look in the mirror today?
Look, we all remember those wild days when we went into like a shipwrights studio and just started causing trouble. It's a rite of passage.
It's just a phase.
Just a phase.
Yeah, surely you can't wear a Hawaiian t-shirt and a Speedo everywhere.
Well, I didn't know what I was going to do for Halloween, but now.
Right? It'd be a pretty killer Halloween costume.
It's a good time. Just mess up a shipyard.
Yeah, so it's essentially like everybody like attacking Luffy, and then like Frankie attacking the foreman because they're getting in the way of him attacking Luffy, and like he's destroying like the dock in the process. But we do see like a cool use of he has kind of like a machine gun kind of thing in his arm, which is pretty cool. So we saw like last volume like how he was able to like extend his arms like Inspector Gadget, like go Frankie punch. But now he's got like a gun in his arm. So he's got some tricks up his sleeve.
Pun intended.
Then we also have Luffy defending Robin still. So he believes in the best of Robin. So admittedly, he probably doesn't know Robin that well himself. but he seems to believe in Robin not doing this, despite everything he's heard about Robin too. Like Aokiji specifically warned about Robin, but despite the warnings, Luffy still has faith in his crewmate.
And he doesn't even have like an alibi for her or anything to be like,
right.
oh, well, here's like a concrete reason why I don't think she did this. He's just like, no, I just know her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also seems that Frankie and Iceberg have a connection as well.
Yeah, Frankie does seem a little concerned about Iceberg.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and taking
Don't
it back.
tell me that guy died, right?
Yeah.
I heard a ship crashed into him. I'm sorry, I got nothing for y'all.
He's just that powerful.
Yeah.
It was a Titanic kind of ship. Too soon. Yeah, so one interesting thing that Paulie says here is that the mayor said that there were 2 assassins. So there's somebody with Robin, but we know it was one of the Straw Hats, and she disappeared with somebody previously. So
Right, we did see her with somebody. Sanji spotted her with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we got a flashback from Iceberg's perspective in the last volume, didn't we? Maybe that's the com. No, I think we did. I think we did get it before, didn't we?
I think so.
I don't think we did.
No, well, never mind.
Could be wrong, but I don't think so.
I'm just not gonna say anything.
There were 2 shooters on the grassy knoll.
Yeah, I don't think I really have too much more to add here.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the next part of the cover story. We have Gadatsu's Unexpected Life on the Blue Sea, Volume 22. Goro, Koza's uncle and Todo's little brother, returns home by chance. Turns out Goro is related to Koza, and Todo is actually from Alabasta. Who knew?
All right. Some familiar faces. I didn't catch the Koza reference in the last one, but I caught it here, obviously.
Yeah, they made it a little bit more obvious.
Yeah.
I just love seeing Koza like all casual and happy.
Yeah.
Just relaxing his t-shirt. No Civil War to be fought. Just vibing, you know.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, much better place than he was last time. And Yuba is doing better too, because now they have actual water at their oasis. So yeah, Yuba seems to be thriving.
Very cool.
Yuba!
I also just noticed that Gadatsu's facing the entirely wrong way in this panel. It slipped by me the first time.
Yeah, he's like, I'm too cool for you guys.
Gadatsu, you're supposed to look at people when you're introduced to them.
All right, let's get Evan's summary for the next chapter.
All right. Chapter 338, Coup de Vent, which, by the way, is a French word meaning gust of wind.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yep. Standing within earshot of the merry-go, Sanji and Chopper discuss very loudly the details of the Aqua Laguna, hoping to warn a certain someone of the coming danger. They flee the scene as Captain Usopp walks on deck, mentioning he heard something about a high tide and notices the wind picking up. Meanwhile, on Dock 1, tensions rise between Luffy and the Galley La. Luffy claims ignorance and wants to talk to Iceberg, but the foremen won't allow it, unleashing their full arsenal on him. Luffy evades their attacks, stating he has no reason to fight them, but they don't relent. Kaku pins Luffy to the wall using his wood chisels, and Tailstone launches a cannonball, which explodes as it hits Luffy. This enrages Frankie, who claims he had first dibs on fighting Luffy, and Galley La is getting in his way. He connects his arms together, creating a large cannon barrel, and shouts, Coup de Vent, as he launches the air cannon at Galley La, sending them flying and destroying Dock 1. In the chaos, Luffy grabs Nami, and they make their escape. Frankie is unable to pursue them because he needs to refuel, which is noticeable by his limp pompadour. The Galley La foremen regroup and decide they must settle this by the Aqua Laguna at sundown. Off in the distance, we see Kokoro, Chimney, and their rabbit cat Gombi arriving at Water 7.
Yeah, rabbit cat.
It looks like a rabbit, but it meows like a cat.
Yeah.
It's very confused. I love this first scene with Sanji and Chopper just like screaming at each other from like point blank, trying to get Usopp to overhear them.
It is the most wholesome comedy.
Yeah.
And I totally forgot about the scene last volume.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
So nice.
Yeah, so like we're talking about, like Sanji seems to be one of the more sympathetic people towards Usopp, like in this case here. So he and Chopper have been kind of like the ones who've been kind of like helping him out the most here.
It's
so,
sweet.
I love
Chopper
like
in
the
the
kind
last
of
chapter.
like subtle, not so subtle way of trying to like warn Usopp.
Yeah.
And that more destruction on Dock 1.
Yeah, they're whipping out all the tools, all the weapons. Like, oh, guns aren't going to work? Well, I've got dueling saws, so
Yeah.
here we go.
A lot of really good teamwork coming in there. Yeah, with Polly and Kaku, with Kaku and Tilestone, just like Kaku in general. Real team player, Mr. Kaku over there.
I love the pose of Freddie Mercury over here with the the two saws this way, like on a
Two saw style.
Two saw style.
Not their first time fighting pirates together.
And I will never tire of the fact that Luffy continuously calls Iceberg Ice Guy.
Yeah.
That's it. Never gonna learn the proper way to say his name.
Yeah, Frankie seems to kind of like take a back seat here for a little bit and kind of enjoys the show. He takes like a second to kind of like chill out for a bit, but then
and then he suddenly doesn't.
Yeah, and then suddenly remembers like
very much does not take a back seat. Not only does not take a back seat, crashes the car for all intents and purposes.
Takes to the next level. Yeah, so Evan's translation makes a lot of sense here.
Yep. The air cannon. It's a cool power-up move.
Yeah.
Very effective.
Like, I love the way like his arms like blow up.
Yep.
Before he actually blasts the air.
And of course, he gives like a full description of what's about to happen right before it happens.
I just love all the bits like Frankie and the Square Sisters. Like the fact they either have these comedy bits.
They creep me out, man.
I love them. This is either like fully pre-planned or they're just like that good at like vibes and just like improv. Like either way, 10 out of 10 ensemble work from them. Great job.
Yeah.
It looks like they help flip the table too.
I feel like there's just like a very specific style of Japanese ensemble comedy that like Oda's drawing on here, and I wish I knew like what specifically the style was, you know?
Yeah, I get you.
And then after Frankie uses the cannon, his hair goes limp.
Yeah,
which was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I love that. But he seems to have like a little newfound respect for Luffy here.
Yes, definitely. Saying he understands the big bounty on Luffy's head. So he's got guts.
Hey, anything else on this one?
Let's see where this goes.
All right, moving on. Kadatsu's Unexpected Life on the Blue Sea, Volume 23. The Hot Springs Inspection Squad. Koza, Toto, and Karu decided to go check out the hot springs. It's another little familiar face here.
Karu! He's still got the little barrel on around his neck.
Yeah, his little drink. It's so cute.
Oh, I love Karu. Kadatsu's still looking the wrong way.
Yeah, he's looking the wrong way again. He's very antisocial.
I will say the boss of the Earth is like 45 degrees in the wrong direction. I think there's some influence going on here.
He's doing the double peace signs again too.
Yeah,
we love it. We love it.
Signature move.
Yeah, really trying to convince everybody he's not a crook. We'll see. We'll see.
Anything could happen.
Okay, let's get Cody's summary for the next chapter.
Chapter 339, Rumors. On a rooftop outside Galila, Nami tells Luffy about the danger of Aqua Laguna, then deduces where Iceberg is staying, and tells Luffy to be careful as he goes in. Luffy agrees, and then rockets himself through a window. The workers inside somehow notice and start chasing Luffy. As Luffy searches, Khalifa notifies Iceberg of the commotion, and he asks her for a favor. Workers shoot at Luffy as he scrambles to find the room until Khalifa appears and calls out to him. Soon after, the workers check with Khalifa outside to ask if she's seen Luffy. She says she hasn't and tells them to keep the noise down. Inside, Luffy finds himself face to face with Iceberg. Luffy says he wants to know the real story, and Iceberg confirms that he saw Robin the previous night. Luffy questions how he knows it was actually her, but Iceberg points a pistol at him, saying he let Luffy in to ask a favor. Iceberg wants to see Robin once more, but Luffy can't help him because she's missing. A gunshot echoes, and the workers burst into the bedroom to find Iceberg alone and unharmed, with a window open. Iceberg orders the workers to capture the crew. Back on the roof, Luffy relays what Iceberg said to Nami, and as Nami questions it, Luffy vehemently states his disbelief. At a bar downtown, we are introduced to its proprietor, Blue No. Frankie and the Square Sisters burst in, requesting that he fill up 3 bottles produced from Frankie's stomach. Blue No asks if they have money, and Frankie criticizes his unorthodox business practices. Mozu tells Frankie that they still have 1,000,000 berries left, and he gives it all to the bar's patrons. Kokoro congratulates Frankie, and they begin talking as Blue No hands over 3 bottles filled with cola. Frankie puts them in his stomach. His hair reorients itself, and he starts feeling super again. Kokoro mentions that Iceberg was shot, and when Frankie mentions it being the work of pirates, Kokoro laughs at his claim and challenges it. After all, the world government are the ones that have been harassing Iceberg. She believes that this will be the job for CP9, a covert, off-the-books government unit that even Frankie dismisses as a rumor. But Kokoro easily rebuffs him since she heard it around, which, as we all know, is the most credible source someone could have. In the back streets, 2 figures covered in shadow express congratulations over the previous day's events to Robin, who they inform is currently wanted throughout the town. They instruct her to get into Iceberg's mansion once again. Her mission is to steal something in Iceberg's possession, originally belonging to a person named Tom. The figure speaking to Robin expresses his resolve in completing this mission for justice in the name of CP9.
Not looking good.
Lore.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a pretty packed chapter.
Yeah. I feel like in Luffy's mind, him like bursting in and breaking, I think that to him that is him being careful.
Yeah.
Like he could have
okay, I'm off.
But he didn't.
So good.
So
I love that. He already has his hands like on the window and he's like, okay, I'm off. and just
Whee!
goes for it.
Glad you take this seriously.
Yeah. Doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so interesting that Iceberg like had Khalifa reach an arrangement for Luffy to like speak with him. So like I think that was interesting that he seemed to have like an ulterior motive, and like it was kind of on the DL, you know, like, hey Luffy, like you can come in here, like we have a quick conversation before like alerting everybody and like, put them on high alert.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he seems to have some kind of interest in Robin.
We saw the one poster.
He did.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, nothing. Just he had that element of, okay, but I'm in control here, not knowing that Luffy was actually impervious, which is like a nice little dynamic between the two of them. I feel like, okay, they're both giving each other ground. But Nico Robin's not a poster though. He knows.
Yeah, it's tricky because I feel like we also like Iceberg as a character so far. Like we haven't really been given any reason not to like Iceberg, not to like Robin. So it's funny, like, you know, all these characters are kind of at odds, but we kind of want all of them to, or we're rooting for all of them, which makes it tricky.
The thing is, like, nobody has the full picture here, so everybody's trying to operate with like part of the puzzle, and nobody has like the full idea of like what's actually happening, so nobody's on the same page.
Yeah, but I love how resolute Luffy is in Robin's innocence. Like he has made up his mind, and there's nothing you can do to change that.
Yeah.
And I kind of love that, like, devotion to his crew, because he considers Robin a crewmate.
Yeah.
And then we move on to the bar scene, which is so good. Oh my gosh, Bruno's character is great. We get Frankie striking a pose with his ladies as they come in, refilling on cola, which is hilarious. And like Cody mentioned in the summary, trying to take money from your customers it's a wonder you stay in business. What an amazing line.
Meanwhile, he's just like literally throwing money around like it's like candy.
Yeah. So good.
If you
And,
give
like,
money away, you're a businessman.
Like he's trying to give like financial advice when he's like the one who can't like hold on to money. Like they keep spending the money every time they get it. So he's probably not the best person to like take advice from about money.
A cyborg that runs on Coca-Cola.
Everyone there seems to really like him though. Like independent of like him.
True.
Yeah. But they call him
just throw a bunch of money in there. He did just throw like 100 million berries in the air. So
yeah, I think like he's a regular though.
Yeah, that's true.
They call him the real boss of Water 7, which is pretty cool.
Joel, is that you? I thought you were a grotesque statue.
I get that a lot, actually. I wonder why.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
That was hilarious. So...
Thank you. Well, thank Frankie. Yes, he was the one to come up with it. Do we ever see Kokoro look anything other than pleased at this current situation? Like, I feel like she could just be like in the middle of like a grand like Gold Rogers Pirates and the Navy coming down on top of her, and she's like, "Well, it's a Tuesday." Like,
well, I think
her mouth
she has a
always
little help.
She is just
yeah.
She's just vibing.
Yeah. And then finally we get the scene with Robin and some shady characters, like quite literally shady, like literally standing
in shadow,
perfectly in the shade. But yeah, I feel like this is the first kind of like confirming scene we've had of Robin in some like, I mean, we saw her with that random person and heard CP9, but this is the first time she's like actually, willingly collaborating with some shady people.
Well, up to this point, we've had no context as to what CP9 was. So this is the first time we actually get like some kind of possible explanation, which, we have Kokoro explain the rumors, how there's like a secret part of like the government, but that doesn't seem to like, nobody seems to be like believing her. It's like, oh, like you're crazy. Like, why would you believe that? But then we have this like the scene afterwards to kind of like confirm that CP9 does exist, because like she's meeting with somebody who says basically that they're here on behalf of CP9. And we had confirmation that last volume somebody was from CP9, but again, we didn't know like what CP9 was. So it could have been like anything, but now we know it's part of the world government.
The mission for justice.
Yeah. So Robin is working with the world government, which is pretty unusual, given like the circumstances of what we know.
Well, Luffy, I guess you're wrong. End of discussion. That's the end of her whole character. She's an evil monster. We can close the volume now.
Yep, got all the details we needed.
Yep.
That's it.
Next week.
Case closed.
But they are planning to return to the mansion, so they're gonna take another like chance going back to the mansion to possibly finish the job. I'm sorry, Cody. Did you have something?
I was gonna say Frankie's just like kind of relatable this chapter. Like just before and after, like that first cup of coffee. Like I'm not a cola guy, but if I were, like that would just be every single day, man. He gets it.
Every coffee and just yell super.
Yeah. So what's wrong with me this week, man? I just, whoa, yeah, let's go. Yow. You know, he gets it. He gets it.
Man, that Cole's got a kick, huh?
Hey, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes you find good fuel source and it just hits, you know?
I love how he
That's
drew the
caffeine.
actual panel of the juice hitting him, and he's all like
shaking.
wobbly, like
Yeah.
it sends like a tremor up his body, and then he just is like a totally different person.
Yeah. That's a great panel. And I like how when he's recharging, like he says, it's been a bummer of a week. But like last time he was saying like he felt unstoppable this week. So he seems to like being consistent with like he just seems to like be operating on a week by week basis, but like I think that's just like his current state. But yeah, I just think it's funny that like he's been like using that as like a quirk that he has.
I think that I picked up on that more after you mentioned it last week, like just how much he says, "Oh, something this week." I knew it was a thing, but I realized like how much he said that until you mentioned it.
Also, we see Kokoro not believing, everyone saying that it was the Straw Hats, and Kokoro's kind of like, I don't think it was the pirates.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
She's like, don't believe everything you hear. And like, I heard this rumor from the shadows. Like, but yeah, she did meet the Straw Hats firsthand, and she seems to have like a better faith in them than the other people who have met them in the Border 7.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else?
I'm good.
All right. Good to move on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Gadatsu's Unexpected Life on the Blue Sea, Volume 24. On our return, we were startled by the forest boss's big project. The forest boss and his followers were busy constructing a building for the hot springs bath.
It's all coming together.
Yeah.
Is Unexpected Bass the brand name?
Yes.
Because I wasn't sure that was like a connection to the. I don't know. It just seems peculiar. I like it. It's very Gadatsu.
Very Gadatsu.
Yeah.
It's got like the Gadatsu logo.
Oh yeah, like with
all
like the hair.
The logos
yeah.
are like his hair.
Yeah. So it looks like the sign in the middle is saying Unexpected Baths. And then we have like a men's side and the women's side.
How perfect. And we got the squiggly trees in the background.
Yep, nice, very scenic. Yeah. So yeah, they got some good work done while they were digging those tunnels. So good job for us, boss. Okay. Chapter 340, The Woman Who Brings Darkness. Luffy and Nami decide to make their way back to the inn to regroup, while the rest of the town makes plans to reinforce their buildings to protect from the impending storm, while others begin evacuating the island. The whole town is on the hunt for the Straw Hats, who have been driven out of the inn they were staying at. Others have made the way onto the Merry, but discover it's been abandoned while Usopp hides behind some rocks. While Sanji and Chopper continue to look for Robin, they learn that they'll be shutting down the trains, so if Robin manages to leave on one today, they will miss their chance to find her. Chopper picks up on a scent and recognizes it as Robin's. They cross the canal, they see her. They tell Robin that they've been looking for her and tell her to come back with them, but she announces that she won't be coming back to the crew. She tells them that what was in the paper was true. She warns that there's a darkness in her that will destroy the crew. She says that she can use the blame on the rest of the crew to make her own escape. Before saying goodbye, she thanks them for the kindness that they showed her, even though she didn't deserve it. Sanji jumps into the water after her, but she is gone before they realize where she went. Sanji sends Chopper to find Luffy and tell him what happened, while he decides to go off on his own for a bit. As the mob looks for Luffy, Chopper is able to track down their scent, finds Luffy, Zoro, and Nami hiding under a bridge. Luffy is surprised to hear what Robin said. Zoro decides it's time to make a decision once and for all. Is Robin a friend or a foe?
So mysterious.
Uh,
I want to believe that Robin is innocent, but it's getting really hard.
One thing I will mention though is just the look on her face when she says, "Thank you for the kindness you've shown me till now." There's just something about that, which I feel like just paints like a decent picture, but also just really tugs at the heartstrings.
Yeah,
it feels really genuine.
So maybe there's a part of her that's like I respect you guys for what you did, but she's making it very clear that she has that she's going a separate way here. So she is announcing that she's leaving the crew, and yeah, she's not coming back. They won't see her again.
Yeah, we had a partnership.
What is
It was
going
brief,
on?
but like I did appreciate y'all for what you're able to give me right now, genuinely. And then bye.
It's like, oh, I can use you guys as a cover for my own escape. So cool.
Sorry about that, but also thanks.
Yeah,
Well,
it just seems to be how she operates.
Yeah.
For anyone who wanted a deep look at Luffy's toes, this is the chapter for you.
I told you 100% that's one of my favorite art in this entire series. Oh, it really gets
I
the
love
bottom
how
of
he's
things
hanging
here.
there. Chopper just like shows up, like looms over him. He freaks out.
So after all that time, Luffy was like holding on like very impressively, then he ends up falling in the water anyway.
Just Chopper's face.
We have another example of Sanji just going off on his own and doing an unspecified thing. Like this has happened at least once or twice before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of a thing he does. And it's kind of there's a meme I shared with Joel a while back of that applies in a surprising amount of scenarios, which is like the crew just barely managing to accomplish something or something, like just managing to, and then it's like there's this little thing that's like this little pillar that's holding it up that says something Sanji did like 2 chapters ago on his own or something. But like it's the one thing keeping this thing like going. Like I gotta find it again, but yeah.
Yeah, because we've seen him in a little garden. We saw him in Alabasta.
In Skyapea, he does like the whole, like he sets up
Yes.
the Luffy Eneru stuff, really, and then
Yeah,
fucking
like
dies
Arc
essentially.
Maxim.
Like
he sabotages the Arc Maxim. So like Sanji does his own thing.
Anyone else tear up when he was like
their X Factor?
Yes. Anyone else tear up when he was just like diving in the water after Robin?
He just wanted an excuse to take his shirt off, but yeah.
I mean, good for him, you know?
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't like right before this, isn't he like, forget about Luffy, we're looking for Robin or something like that? Maybe not. But yeah, never, or it's Nami I'm worried about. He's worried about Nami, not Robin.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
He's like, never mind Luffy, it's Nami I'm worried about. I'm so curious. Because I really like Robin's character, and hate to see another crew member gone in this same arc. I feel like we've actually lost 3 crew members. We lost Mary, we lost Usopp, and now we've lost Robin.
Yeah.
I can't take another. So there's still time. There's still time.
And we lost Chopper last arc when he came back, but they temporarily lost Chopper. So a whole bunch of shakeup going on with the Straw Hats here.
A whole lot of shaking going around.
But yeah, Robin gives like a pretty foreboding warning, because she says that like basically she brings darkness, and by being around her, like essentially like, it's just going to consume the crew, and they're going to kind of get caught up in that. So it's kind of like she's like, yeah, you don't want any part of this. Like I'm just going to like end up destroying you guys. So there's something about Robin that she seems to also like recognize like within herself. And what's my train of thought?
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh yeah, she says like like you guys showed me kindness I didn't deserve. So there's something about her that she feels like that makes her like lesser or not good, that like she doesn't deserve like a kindness. So it seems like there's something about her that she's not really telling them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what an ominous thing to say. There is a darkness in me that you and the crew do not know, a darkness that will someday destroy you.
Yeah.
Damn.
That is a line from a different manga.
Yeah, that's really intense. But also respectful and very self-aware, being like, I don't want you to get hurt, so I'm going to remove myself. And there also is some care in that.
Maybe it's just kind of like, well, you guys were kind to me, so I guess like I can kind of return the favor in like a little way, I guess.
But also like thanks for the cover as I escaped. Deuces, bye.
True.
Bye-bye.
True.
Anyway.
Sorry, not sorry.
So my nature. So
Yeah.
like I'm aware of it. I'm just not doing anything about it. Anything else on this one?
I think we're good.
Yeah. I just have like one note be like Chopper, buddy, sad face.
Oh,
That's most of my thoughts on this chapter.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty sad to see like Sanji and Chopper's reactions. Like they look genuinely shocked to hear this coming from Robin.
Mm-hmm.
She straight up like tells him like, yeah, like I'm leaving. This is like the end for us. So.
And he thinks it's because he did something bad at the bookstore.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Did I annoy her? Is that why she's leaving? Buddy, no, it's okay. It's not okay. And actually, everything really sucks right now. But like, it's like you're okay. You're okay.
You didn't do it. It's not your fault. All right, let's move on. Gadatsu's Unexpected Life on the Blue Sea, Volume 25. A tunnel to the unexpected hot spring island opens in the country of sand. They build a tunnel to connect Alabasta to the hot spring island where the baths are.
Woo!
Ooh. You're gonna make us for a whole volume question what one kanji is. And you're like, here's an entire billboard in English for your convenience. Make it make sense. It was probably a space thing, but I was still like just a little miffed, even though I knew why.
Yeah, so just like a little thing in the SBS. So slight spoiler for the live action One Piece if you haven't seen it yet. But they do show the previous Mr. Seven. So we had seen Mr. Seven during Alabasta with Miss Father's Day. But this is Mr. Seven that was the one that tried to recruit Zoro to Baroque Works prior to the events of the series. So in the live action Netflix, they have like a scene where Zoro fights a Mr. Seven from Baroque Works, which is based on this little tiny sketch. It was like dude with like a little mohawk type thing. So it's a little joke sketch.
Insane.
They base that character off of this little SBS question.
That's so cool. That's right. He's a sword bearer.
Yeah.
Swordsman.
Yeah. So just a little Easter egg here. But I just wanted to mention that because I thought it was interesting.
It's such a crude drawing too. It's not like a fully fleshed out drawing. It's like
it's like a joke drawing.
It's very much a little sketch. Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, he just looked like this. He just like threw something together. It was like a serious like answer.
That's hilarious.
Okay. How about we get Evan's summary for the next chapter?
Chapter 341, Demon. Luffy, Zoro, Nami, and Chopper discuss the next move and whether they should consider Robin a friend or a foe. Ultimately, Luffy decides they must go to the scene of the crime and catch Robin in order to get to the bottom of this. Elsewhere in Water 7, Usopp spends the last of his money on supplies to fix up the merry-go. The shopkeeper takes pity on him, seeing his bandages, and offers him some rice balls. Back at the ship, Usopp realizes the waves are getting bigger and goes about weatherproofing the ship, assuring the Merry it's all going to be alright. The island begins to hunker down for the impending storm. At Galilot Company headquarters, the foremen gather outside Iceberg's bedroom to protect him against another assassination attempt. Inside the bedroom, Khalifa asks Iceberg about Robin's wanted poster, and he tells her that Robin is a demon. Meanwhile, outside Galilot headquarters, the Straw Hats wait patiently for Robin to make her move. Just then, we see a silhouette of a familiar leather boot. Dun dun dun. Who could it be?
I think Anel's coming back. I think that he's got some new footwear on the moon. Just a theory. Just a theory.
Okay. Yeah, I can't really comment.
I forgot I haven't turned my mic back on. I was gonna say $5 is skiing on the moon.
Wait, no, fucking hell, it's skiing. It's skiing. It's skiing. It's skiing.
Skiing for the ween.
Give me the lead.
Geen is the most important side character in the entire
I
story.
swear to God, he will come back one day, Joel.
Please.
He's here. What are you
Please.
talking about? He's here right now.
He's here right now.
I am pleased that he is back.
Yeah, so they decide that they're going to meet with Robin, even if it means like capturing her to get to the bottom of this. They want answers and not accepting what they heard. So a lot of information being told to them that they're like, no, I don't accept that.
Yeah, I love that. Like Luffy's gotten all the facts given to him, a lot of proof that Robin's in some shady business, and he's still like, no, I got to see this. Like I have to catch her red-handed and like talk to her to get to the bottom of this. Like I'm not going to settle for anything less than like she's got to tell me to my face, you know.
He's like, you're telling me the facts, but I feel like that's wrong.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like we've always commented on Luffy's judgment of character. Like Luffy has always had a really good judgment of character, and here he's super resolute about his opinion, and so it's nice to see that him like standing up for his crewmate and not taking it at face value.
Right.
And you know it's serious business when Luffy is actively listening with a very serious look on his face 3 times in one chapter.
That's how you know.
Yeah. I also love the last panel of that discussion. They're all looking serious and like, all right, let's go. And even like Chopper, cute little Chopper's got like his serious face on.
It's giving Walk to Arlong Park vibes.
Looking badass.
Yeah, and it seems like they are speculating that Robin is, if she's going back tonight, she's probably going to do something even worse. So because she failed the assassination attempt, it's very likely that tonight will probably have like a worse result. So it puts a little extra pressure on everything.
Because what we didn't have enough of was pressure right now.
Right?
It's been a very chill couple chapters.
But they do realize that she is with someone else that was wearing the mask. They don't know who this person is, but they have the detail that she was with somebody else, so that isn't one of them. So they know that Robin is involved with another person to some degree. So I think they're thinking, oh, that person's probably responsible for what's going on here. And how about Usopp?
I was just gonna say, then my mic cut out. Yeah. It's, man, like the shopkeeper saying, hey, take care of yourself twice, really took the words out of my mouth. But then at the same time, just that pure optimism in his face when he's working on the Mary, like, it really shows you where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Maybe forget like just the factual basis, like just in the same way that Luffy's saying, I have these facts, but I believe in Robin. Usopp has that blind belief in the Mary, and I will, I'll hold judgment on either party. So camera, sorry about that. I was very blurry for a second there, but I don't know, I feel like it just says a lot about both of them. And it's just a really beautiful moment.
Yeah, he's like, don't you worry, it'll be fine.
Your ship that has flown in the sky, don't you worry.
He was hammering away.
Yeah, it's hard not to feel bad for him in this chapter, but he seems happy.
Yeah, especially when he's carrying all of the materials by himself, and the merchant's kind of like, hey, why don't you get your friends to help you? Like, come on, you gotta have somebody that's gonna help you. Like, and he struggles to carry the materials, and he falls over, and the guy's like, wow, this guy's like a mess. Like, I mean, I at least gotta give him some food. This guy looks like he's in rough shape. So he does take pity on Usopp. But yeah, this is a pretty rough scene here.
And I did not mention the Blue Nose bar scene in my summary, but just like before, Frankie just kind of turns on a dime and all of a sudden like realizes he's not doing what he should be doing or whatever. Or just completely has a change, pulls a 180 and barges out of there all pissed off.
Smashes the bar table.
Yep.
This man has too much testosterone. My God.
It all goes right to his forearms.
Yeah,
That's what a cola diet only does to you.
I was gonna say this guy runs on Coke.
And not even that kind of Coke. You didn't think so. But no, just like
Might as well be.
carbonated soda. But yeah. God, can you imagine Frankie drinking a bunch of Coke, then doing Coke? Coke squared. Like,
I mean, Shonen power-ups really aren't what they used to be.
I guess not. You'd be unstoppable.
Then we have like all the workers like gathering and like fortifying, yeah, like the Galileo company office, the headquarters.
Yeah, it's a cool shot of them all sitting outside the door.
Yeah, I mean they basically have like a small army here, so like they really want to make sure Iceberg is protected.
Heavily fortified.
Yeah.
Amiga Iceberg calling Robin a demon.
Yeah.
So we know how he feels.
Yeah, and again, he has her wanted poster in the room, but he kind of like deflects the question. So like we didn't really get an answer here. Like, why does he have this wanted poster? Like, why is he concerned about Robin so much? All right. Anything else?
I just love how the Straw Hats have a reputation for themselves outside of the insular events of this. Because you have that one person with the very nice hat talking about how, oh, they've got like 5,000 men. Oh, they've got all these like really cool. Oh, there's like 3,000. Oh my God. And I'm like, wow, in such a short time. Like I don't think Usopp's moonlighting for like the newspapers and writings, but like they really have this reputation. And that's just really cool to see how far they've come in such a short time.
Yeah, somebody overheard Usopp yelling at the shore, I have 8,000 henchmen.
Wait, what? Someone right there. Wait, really? Oh, we've got to watch out for those guys. Oh my God.
Yep.
But they heard a typo and they heard 3,000 instead of 8,000.
Oh,
yeah, it sounds like they're probably listening to the same sources that Kokoro was listening to.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. The Alex Jones of the One Piece world.
All right, moving on. Gadatsu's Unexpected Life on the Blue Sea, Volume 26. Pincer's ocean floor bus service begins. Pincer's transports passengers using the ocean tunnel to get to the island. Yeah, so they have this like kind of sea tunnel. Pincer's is now.
Is this the Pincers from the Alabasta?
It is. It is.
Same one.
The pervy crab.
Yeah.
The pervy crab working at a bathhouse. Great.
I just noticed that the little thing at the top has like looks like a symbol of scissors. Like where the flashlight is.
Nice. Wow, good catch. Nice.
Yeah, I just saw that. And I like how the flashlight is facing sideways when he's like facing like the other way.
Mm-hmm.
But he has to peek like off to the side to see like forward.
Still smirking.
Still smirking.
All right, let's get Cody's summary for the next chapter.
All right, chapter 342, The Messenger of Darkness. Frankie storms out of the bar yelling for Luffy, and the Square Sisters follow, sideways, so they can navigate with all the wind and whatnot. The rest of the Frankie family spot him and ask if he managed to get revenge on the Straw Hats. Frankie tells them he didn't, and they let him know they spotted Usopp. Frankie makes a plan to use Usopp to draw the others out. At Galileo, the Straw Hats take note of the numbers of shipwrights outside the mansion, and Luffy, yes, Luffy, mentions the need for a plan. In the mansion, Iceberg asks Khalifa to leave his side and have Polly come in. Polly enters, and Iceberg discusses a private matter with him over the course of a half hour. Polly agrees to carry out an errand for Iceberg and asks the other foreman to keep watch. He heads to Iceberg's office, peels back the carpet under the desk, and begins entering the combination to a hidden safe. Near the mansion, Robin and a large figure whose face is covered by a bear mask talk to someone on a Denden Mushi, confirming that they are ready to start their plan, and the voice on the snail says they'll create a distraction. Immediately, an explosion goes off outside the mansion, shocking everyone there and the Straw Hats. Tilestone hears that someone has been spotted. He rushes off to take care of this person, and Lulu follows, wanting to kill the intruder himself. Outside, a figure with a spiked whip and an ornate bicorn-adorned mask runs from the shipwrights on the ground and vaults themselves up to the roof, where more shipwrights are waiting. The masked figure tells them to stand down if they want to live. Robin and the person with the bear mask take this opportunity to head toward the mansion, immediately drawing fire from some other shipwrights. As the Straw Hats observe, they notice that Luffy is gone. Okay, this makes a lot more sense. Back in Iceberg's office, Polly opens the safe and takes out a rolled-up stack of papers. As he does so, 2 more masked figures, a bull and a skull, enter and demand Polly hand it over. Oh, it's heating up.
Yeah, some pretty crazy stuff here.
Yeah, some pretty crazy characters.
Yeah.
I'm digging the outfits of these assassins.
Hmm.
Yeah, they got their like masquerade style
Mm-hmm.
weird
Like
uniform.
the bull mask and the skull at the end.
Yeah.
Pretty intense.
It seems like they picked a good time too, because like the festival is happening. So like
Right.
there's a lot of people in general wearing masks. Yeah, so I think it's like good timing for them to do this kind of operation.
Actually, I want to ask Evan, since this is your first time reading this volume, what was going through your mind as you saw all these new characters? Like, there's like this whodunit aspect of it, and I know that you've been able to read a few more chapters after this, but did you have any thoughts, any guesses, any theories about things going on or stuff happening as you saw these people and this started to unfold?
Not really. Like, I didn't really have any idea who these characters were. They seemed like some shady organization that Robin has gotten tangled in. And again, I'm still like super optimistic about Robin. Like, I'm really hoping that she turns out to have good intentions, or stays a Straw Hat. So I feel like at this point I was just thinking like, oh, she got mixed up with the wrong crowd here, and they're playing this assassination on Iceberg, who is a likable character, and I don't want to be assassinated. So I'm hoping that they are unsuccessful in their mission.
Word.
But yeah, but no idea like really who these people are.
But
they
now we
seem
get the
powerful.
sense. We get the sense that there's something a little bigger now too, because up to this point we've only seen Robin with one other person.
Right.
Although technically she was with like 2 people when she was meeting, like in the shadows. We saw her talking to somebody, and there was another person standing there. But we've only seen her operating with one person. So now we get the sense. Now we see like there's 2 more figures. There's another person running around outside. So like there's like a whole bunch of like more people that seem to be getting involved with this, and it's a little bit bigger than we might have initially thought.
Right, and they're super organized. They have like signals, and they have a clear plan, and they're like paired off into conscious groups. They're different with different objectives, and we got the Straw Hats, who are also organizing and thinking over the plot and be coming up with the best possible plan. And then all of a sudden,
they're equally organized.
that panel is absolutely hilarious, where there's just a space where Luffy should be, but he is not there. And we get like a very uncharacteristic shocked face from Zoro. Zoro's absolutely
and Luffy had said it could be bad to jump in without a plan. And yet here we are.
Yep.
Maybe Luffy's plan was just like wait for shit to happen, and then like, okay, I'll go down. When shit goes down, I'll go down and start more shit. That's his plan.
That kind of was the original plan, though, was like wait for them to make their move and then go in. So he kind of did follow the plan, sort of.
In his own way.
Genius.
Explosion is, a good sign that things are starting. So,
Sean, did you have something?
I was just gonna echo the Luffy. It's just like no matter how organized or etiquette or debonair a certain group of people is, Luffy will always find a way to just walk inside and just take a shit on the floor. And it's just like, it never stops being funny. They're just like, we are the coolest. I'm like, cool. I'm going to like hammerhead my way through this wall and like eat a piece of meat on the floor while you all just act all cool and stuff. It's just nobody cares. I'm just here now.
Right. I feel like he's so instinctual. Like he just acts. He just acts on instincts.
And at the beginning of the chapter, I did love how Kiwi and Mozu were like walking sideways into the wind because like the way their hair is would have blown them away because the wind is so strong. So like Frankie's like, why are you guys walking like that? It's like we have to so we don't get blown away.
Hair 2D.
Like Joel and Sean, you know like how those upstate, like I guess those Northeast winters are. I just got vivid memories of trying to like just bring a 4x8 platform into my house to deal with something. I felt for him in that moment.
And then we also have this detail here where Iceberg calls Paulie into his office, and he whispers something to him, and gives him an errand. So he leaves, and then he goes and finds a safe in the office. So Iceberg was hiding something.
Yeah. It makes you think he knows that there's something deeper going on here than just someone trying to kill him.
Seems to be the case.
I really love this shot through the window as they're having that private conversation. It just does such a great job to establish, I don't know, the secrecy of it. At first I was thinking, oh, is this Robin's point of view? And the next page I realized, nope, she's on the hill. It's not. Don't get ahead of yourself. But still, beautiful shot.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's almost like a pan in because two cells earlier you get like the zoomed out window, and then it kind of like zooms in.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah,
which is cool. I love the shot when we first see Robin in her CP9 getup with this bear guy.
Yeah,
and they have that tiny little like transponder snail. I don't think we've seen like a little handheld like that yet, have we? Like a little tiny, little special ops snail.
Not often, if we have seen it at all.
I don't think we've seen that yet.
I think, did Hina have one? I feel like there was like one in the Marines, like around Alabasta, but I can't place it.
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen a portable one or not. If that was like on the ship. Yeah, I can't remember for sure.
Pretty neat. Special ops snail. Snail walkie.
Yeah, then we get this explosion to kick off the distraction that CP9 was saying. Like now's the time that's the signal. So that kicks them into gear. And this other figure shows up with a whip and tells them to stand down. Even though they're surrounded.
We also get the sense that this is not Robin's like first rodeo with these people. Like she seems to like have a plan, be like fitting right in with the group. She's done her homework. You know, she's flowing with the team. So it seems like it's not their first rodeo together.
Yeah, like she might have been picked for a reason.
Yeah.
She does seem a bit annoyed with how they're conducting themselves, but not enough to really be that frazzled. More just like mildly irritated.
The last panel is so ominous with the silhouettes of the skull and the bull character. Again, I really like the character design on these people. It's like
they were cool.
The top masks, yeah.
And when I hear bull and skull, it makes me think of Bulk and Skull from Power Rangers.
Oh God. That's just I remember some stupid ass theme playing whenever they show up.
It just unlocked like a primordial part of my brain. Wow.
I'm sure they're like just the same type of character.
Oh yeah, definitely. Harmless, like, just like
comic relief.
Yeah.
Bunch of bozos. All right, are we ready to move on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gadatsu's Unexpected Life on the Blue Sea, Volume 27. The princess and her entourage pay a visit. Vivi, Igaram, Chaka, and Pell arrive to check out the hot spring baths.
Hey, more familiar faces.
Yeah.
This is a nice callback.
Yeah, nice to see Vivi. I guess word really got out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the whole gang's there. All right. Chapter 343, Cipher Pol No. 9. Robin and the figure with the bear mask are surrounded by the workers. The bear figure lifts his cloak as the workers open fire on them, but to everyone's surprise, the two have disappeared. Meanwhile, the masked whip figure is able to evade the attacks of the workers by jumping around in midair while also defeating them with ease. Polly addresses the bull and skull masked figures that have entered the room, asking who they are. They say that they're agents of justice who come from the shadows, undercover intelligence agents from Cipher Pol No. 9. Polly remarks to get here, they must have encountered some of the Galilon men, to which they callously state they may have been casualties, but they did not care to note such details. They tell Polly to hand over Iceberg's special item, though they'll have to kill him because he knows too much. Robin and the bear figure approach a wall and determine that this is the wall that connects to Iceberg's room on the other side. The bear figure press against the wall and instructs Robin to push, creating a door using his body, which vanishes after they enter. Iceberg is surprised to see the figures entering the room using this method and realize that this must be how they got in last night. The bear figure tells him that he has the power of the door fruit, which allows him to create a door out of any wall. The bear figure shoots Iceberg with a non-fatal shot, which Robin is confused by as there hasn't been a signal yet. The bear figure says this is to help prevent him from talking. Iceberg deduces that they must be from CP9, which the bear figure confirms. Iceberg realizes that the Straw Hats had nothing to do with this after all, which is part of their strategy to deflect the blame. The bear figure says that they are after the blueprints for a certain ship, which has been passed down from shipwright to shipwright for generations. They figured if Iceberg felt his life was threatened, he would make a move to pass down the blueprints to another, in this case, Polly. The bear figure says he'll take care of the shipwrights in the hall and leave Iceberg to Robin. Outside, Zoro, Nami, and Chopper make the decision to try to enter the Galilon building, as Luffy must have thinned out the crowd by now. To their surprise, this was not the case, and Luffy was nowhere in sight. Turns out, Luffy is stuck between two buildings, and he tried to jump into the mansion. Inside, the workers call for backup as Lucci and Kaku seem to have been killed, while the bear figure sits outside Iceberg's room.
Just keeps escalating. Luffy's figured out a way to incapacitate himself.
He really just cuts out the middleman. Good for him.
Never fails.
Never fails.
So we now have a name for like what CP9 stands for. It's Cipher Pol 9.
Very cool.
Sounds like a boutique shop somewhere. I don't know.
Interpol's cousin.
One
Yeah.
of the poles.
Interpol's pirate cousin. We get to see the CP9 agents though doing what they do, and it's cool seeing the different abilities.
Yeah,
we've got this whip person like jumping through the air, seemingly on nothing, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, they use the term
and we
moonwalk.
got a door guy. Yeah, moonwalk.
So there must be Michael Jackson fans.
Yeah.
Django fans.
Yeah,
They're
stealing his thunder.
Yeah, it's like the same ability.
And then we got the door fruit, which is pretty cool. Now push me like a door.
So that explains how they've been like disappearing out of thin air.
Yep.
Because like when Sanji first saw Robin, like he turned the corner and they were gone.
That's
so this
right.
must be how they got away, and how they'd be getting in and out of the building without. Because they mentioned last time too, there was no signs like a forced entry or like a break-in. So this shows how they were getting in and out.
It's a very good ability to have when you're in a secret organization, infiltration organization.
It has its uses.
Just a bit.
Sorry. It's just such a creative way to do it too, because like Oda could have easily just like had him make like just a plain rectangular door.
Yeah.
But no, it's just like it literally takes the shape of this bear dude. Like, wow.
I wonder if he can do it by himself or if he needs somebody to push him.
Maybe. I also wonder, he mentions, let me find the explanation real quick. However thick the wall, whatever I touch, it becomes a door. What constitutes a wall?
These are the questions.
Because if it doesn't matter how thick like the object is, could like what's like there has to be some amount, otherwise like the entire world is a door. I need answers. Oda.
You can't use it on the floor. It has to be like a wall. No, I don't know. I don't have the answer.
I don't know.
I need a carpenter to answer this question.
But I think it's like a fun concept though. Like he could have been like, oh, he has the ability to teleport. Like he could be like Nightcrawler. Like he could like, you know, he can bamf from like one room to another. Like he just has to like be able to visualize it or something.
Or he could just be like Shadowcat, just be able to walk through walls. But
he can walk through walls.
The specific act of having to make a door to do so gives him a fun visual touch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and even though oh, go ahead.
I was going to say it's cool that he can also seal the door behind him too, so that there's no trace that it ever happened, which is kind of cool. Cool detail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and even though we're just like trying to discuss like some of the logistics, it does feel like it does limit the ability to some way. Like it's not like I can just instantly teleport somewhere else. It's like it's something that is restricted to like this parameter. So we don't know exactly what those details are, but it does feel like they're there. There's like some kind of rules to how this probably works, but we don't know the exact details yet.
Speaking of this bear dude, I just love the shadows on his face and how Oda's able to use the mask itself and just the angle at which it appears to convey so many different tones.
Yeah.
It's really, 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 really well done. Yeah,
and there was actually a panel in the last chapter as well, I think. I was thinking as well. Like I really like the shadow. I think when you had the like the transponder snail, like the shadow on it, like because like the bear almost has like like an innocent kind of quality to it. It doesn't look like a menacing bear. It looks like almost like kind of like friendly and goofy, but it's kind of juxtaposed by like how serious like this character seems to be and like what they're here to do. So like I think just having like these kind of masked figures is kind of like creepy in this way, where they're like trying to operate in the shadows and they're here to do something that seems to be like all sinister.
Yeah.
And even like when the bull is like explaining that they're from Cipher Pol No. 9, like there's not like really like background details, but you can see like the bull is like kind of covered in shadow, and it does give this kind of ominous feel. It's pretty unsettling. And then we have like on the next page, like just kind of a shot of like the eyes, saying that now that you know, like we'll have to kill you.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And you know they're not joking. Speaking of, poor Kaku and Lucy.
Right?
Yeah, I hope they pull through.
Yeah.
I like both of those characters.
And Hatsuri.
Well, Hatsuri is at least cooing. So
Hatsuri okay. All right, Hatsuri.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, we said Kaku and Lucci like bleeding, and like Kaku's like slumped in the chair.
Not looking pleasant.
Yeah.
I guess they ran out of crazy masks for Robin. She just has like a classic.
Yeah. Feels like she kind of got
got
cheated out of a cool mask. Yeah.
Right?
Just like, here, you can have this one. Like, we don't have any animals, but yeah, just cover your eyes.
Come on. I couldn't even have like an octopus. Like, you know, all my hands.
She does have like almost like a Batman and Robin kind of mask.
Yeah.
So she's that kind of Robin now. The
Oh.
Girl Wonder.
Always looking on the bright side, Joel.
That's the animal motif for her. It's like the bird Robin. And we do get the information of what they're looking for.
Yeah. Mysterious blueprint. which makes sense. There are like shipbuilders.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this ship has been passed down from generations to generations, like for the blueprints for it. So they seem to really want to get their hands on it. Yeah. So anything else on this one?
Things are getting spicy and bloody.
Mm-hmm. We are in who done it, who's doing it, and who gonna do it territory.
All good questions. But for right now,
The teddy bear in a bedroom with a pistol.
Oh shit!
starting to a game of Clue.
Checking envelope. Evan wins.
All right. Gadatsi's Unexpected Life on the Blue Sea, Volume 28. The Men's Bath. The men, including the animals, from Alabasta enjoy the men's bath.
All right, Supersonic Duck Squad.
Yep,
Yeah.
squads there.
Eyelashes.
Eyelashes.
There's some new guy too.
Which guy?
Next Igaram. I think it's like a new guy in the Royal Guard.
To the left of Igaram?
Like
Pel?
yeah. No. Pel's dead. What? Oh no!
It does look like he took a big like hit to the chest, but
I thought he was just in the service. I thought he was just a veteran.
Hey, we all thought Bell died.
Wait. Are we talking about? Has that been revealed, Joel? Do you know what I'm talking?
Yeah. Pell was
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah.
Bullshit. He is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, so I'm just. Gonna
I know.
insert, like,
We've had this discussion.
Thank you. Good. Like, so
Okay,
he's
I
gonna
didn't watch
die
that
in
one, I'm
season
sorry.
2. He's gonna die in season 2 of the Netflix show, and I can't wait for it. We're gonna see him explode into giblets, and I'll be like, "Good, you dead piece of shit, die." Sorry, he's a great man, but he should be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Pell.
He's great.
But if-
Like one of
And you think
my
he should be
favorite
dead.
character designs, and he should have died. But he's such a good character.
Yeah, but if they kill Pell of the Netflix live action series, how are they gonna do this bath scene?
Oh my
It's easy.
There's-
Just put Garp in the bath instead.
yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I don't talk about the series much because like I probably still shouldn't be, but like that's where I'm at. Yeah.
But either way, Pell does look like he got a little wrecked here. So
He
I don't know if that's
did.
from the explosion or if that's from like some other fighting he's done. But like his scarring looks a bit more severe than Chaka's.
Yeah.
It's probably from that. Yeah, probably from the bomb. The bomb the size of a car that he survived.
That he somehow survived while he was carrying it.
Okay, let's get Evan's summary for the next chapter.
Chapter 344, Opposing Force. Tasson attacks Mr. Teddy Bear Headman, but is defeated by a single blow. Outside, Zoro, Nami, and Chopper decide to turn around and fight their way to the front door. Meanwhile, Luffy has managed to unstuck himself and makes his way to Iceberg. In Iceberg's bedroom, Iceberg and Robin face off. Iceberg knows Robin is searching for the information inscribed on the poneglyphs, which is a high crime according to the government. Iceberg is worried Robin is going to destroy the world because she is the only person capable of reactivating the ancient weapons. Iceberg also finds it strange that Robin would work for CP9, a government agency, while also being pursued by the government. Iceberg confesses he has in his possession the blueprints to one of the ancient weapons, a battleship named the Pluton. When Iceberg was given the blueprint, he was warned of a girl who'd escaped from the O'Hara incident 20 years ago and was told she is a threat. Now confronted by that girl, Iceberg decides she is too dangerous to live and that the evils of the past should not be reawakened. But before he can pull the trigger, Robin pins him down using her devil fruit powers. Robin goes to finish him off, but Iceberg says they've fallen for his ruse. In Iceberg's office, Polly has been bested by the two CP9 agents, and before he passes out, he reveals that the blueprints he's been protecting are fake. Woo!
Double cross.
Yeah. So this one is also like another like lore like heavy chapter.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
I
sure.
knew the new anime on Netflix by Urasawa was cool, but I didn't know it was an ancient weapon.
Yeah, a lot of lore. But also not, I mean, it's a lot of lore, but it's also, I think, just more detail on a lot of information we've already been given, right? Because, like, we know about the ancient weapons on the poneglyphs, and, like, we know that that isn't particularly what Robin's been searching for, or Robin has stated that in the past. Like, we know that they can be used to, you know, activate these weapons, and we've also even heard of the Pluton before.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, we heard of the Pluton in the at the end of the Alabasta arc, I believe.
That's what Crocodile's looking for.
Crocodile's looking for it. So it was cool kind of just getting more context around these kind of like hot words we've had in the past.
Yeah, so this does give us more context and details to stuff that we've already known, but I think it's starting to fill in some of the gaps.
Mm-hmm.
So we now know what CP9 is after. They're after one of the ancient weapons, which is Pluton, which is basically a battleship. It's designed for like a battleship, but it was considered to be too powerful, so like it's kind of been like protected. And we find out details that the poneglyphs, it's basically forbidden by the government. It's considered a high crime to basically do anything involving the poneglyphs, like researching them, deciphering them, or looking for them. So that's
certainly finding one.
Yeah. So that is considered to be like a massive crime to the world government's eyes. And Robin seems to be possibly the only person in the world who can read them.
Iceberg is saying that's why her bounty was so high.
Yeah.
For those reasons.
Yeah. So she was one of the only. They said that she's the lone girl who survived the O'Hara incident from 20 years ago. So when she was 8.
Damn. So as we get some clues, we also get some more unanswered questions. Some answers and some questions.
Yeah. And he also refers to the people from O'Hara as demons. So that's why he's also calling Robin a demon, because he considers those people to be demons.
Seems a little cruel. I don't see any horns.
Well, we didn't really know anything about them. But yeah, it seems like it's a bad thing.
Quite the confrontation. I love the moment where Iceberg draws a pistol and Robin draws 4 pistols. I was like, yo, let's go.
Yeah, that's so cool. That
was a very badass move.
Yeah, that's so cool.
On both sides.
Wielding pistols.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah, and then Robin has a conversation with Iceberg and talks about how like she feels the same way, that she doesn't want the ancient weapons to fall into the wrong hands. But like she says, like, you have no right to tell me how to do my research. Mm-hmm. But it seems like Robin is trying to say, like, hey, like I agree with you. Like, yeah, like we don't want the ancient weapons to be used like by the wrong people. But like Iceberg seems to think that Robin can't be trusted.
He's kind of saying it's better off no one having this information, and by killing you, that would guarantee that, like the like that would kind of close the circuit.
Yeah. So there'd be no risk at that point.
He's saying like killing her is almost just as good as burning the blueprints.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, because nobody can do anything with them.
As they say, dead men tell, or in this case, dead women tell no tales.
Although Robin would disagree with that.
Yeah,
because she when she found like the dead body
Yeah, look,
from
the
that
pirates
idea.
were not exactly speaking quite as literally as they may have thought, or dead guy like furiously writing a note as they're like, no, that's not how the rhyme goes. Like, God damn it.
Cody, you were saying?
I was gonna say, it feels like everything Iceberg is saying, in this case, applies just as much to Robin. You burn the blueprints, or you stop the person from uncovering the true history of these weapons, or the devils of O'Hara, or whatever's going on. It's just, I guess there's just the equating of a person to a weapon here feels really poignant. I guess is my main observation there.
Yeah.
The Robin Jesus needs to be treated the same way as, I guess, the potential for destruction being put to the forefront more so than. I mean, Robin is in a very difficult situation, a very precarious situation, and with a very bad crowd. But that's not what he's been judging her on. He's been judging her on her potential to read them, and the fact that it's putting the cart before the horse as far as person. Is it worth being preventative, or is there something bigger at play there?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, like, even before Robin did anything to him personally these past few days, like he already like had Robin on his radar. Like he's had this wanted poster like on his wall for a while. This is like he just like had this like yesterday he found it. Like, he's had this, so he's been aware of Robin. So it seems like he's been like worried about Robin for a while because a person named Tom that Iceberg knew. We also find out about Tom. Like he had mentioned like that Robin was like the lone survivor of the O'Hara incident. So like he's already been like worried about Robin this whole time. So now he's like, oh, this is my opportunity to do something about Robin and prevent this from possibly happening. So now I'm giving her a chance to not do this thing. He just thinks because she exists, that because of this potential, like it's better to stop this before it could be like world ending.
Yep.
Right. Because he knows her capabilities, but not her intentions.
Yes.
Which is exactly how the Galley Law Foreman, I guess, handled like Luffy and Frankie and everything else.
Yeah, to like your point you said earlier that they were being preventive in that way. I guess that's the Galley Law motto.
Right. And it's kind of like the opposite of how Luffy's treating it, because Luffy's like, no, I know her, so I'm not going to take any of that into consideration.
Yeah, let's give her a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at least in this case here, Luffy, he got stuck, but he got out a lot quicker than we've seen like in the past. So a lot of times, like he'll be like incapacitated for a while, and like then like he'll be out of the story for a bit. So like in this case here, he's right back in it.
Yeah.
Right back in the thick of it. And he happens to launch right to where Polly is.
Speaking of whom, great Polly moment. I have my my misgivings about him, but like all in all, I love this guy. And he really stuck it to Bullhead and Skullface right there.
Yep.
Good for
Can't
him.
deny his grit.
Perfect time.
Yeah, it seems like it was kind of like a miscalculation here because he's like, oh, I thought I could take you guys, but he seems not to be the case. He's pretty much defeated here. Now, how about the beginning of this chapter where we see like the bull figure, say Iron Body, and like when Tilestone smashes him with the hammer breaks.
So cool. Oh my god.
So Tilestone kind of gets wrecked here too.
It physically hurt when Tilestone jobbed to the bear guy. I just, man, ow.
He's trying to avenge his friends here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. CP9 really showing their strength too. There's been a lot of one-hit KOs.
Yeah.
They've taken down a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
There's more to that door fruit.
Okay. Anything else on this one? Okay, moving on. Kadatsu's Unexpected Life on the Blue Sea, Volume 29. The Women's Bath. Vivi and Terracotta, almost some fighting dugongs, enjoy the women's bath.
Classic fan service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not much to say about that.
At least there's less peepers on this bath than the owl bath scene.
Yeah.
But they're running a respectable establishment here.
Yeah, it seems quite the bath.
Okay. Let's get Cody's summary for the next chapter.
Let's go. Chapter 345, Sleepers. The assassins in the bull and skull masks stand over Polly and decide that he knows too much to be kept alive. At that moment, Luffy comes bursting into the wall and stays there because he is once again stuck. Luffy notices that Polly's covered in blood and realizes that the men in the masks must be the ones who were commanding Robin. And he demands they give Robin back, and the skull masked assassin delivers a tempest kick, slicing through the wall with only his leg. Luffy is momentarily freed, but the assassins bind him and Polly to the floor. The two assassins call the others in their group and instruct them all to meet in the bedroom and not to shoot Iceberg. Outside, Bicorn Whip Person quickly dispatches Peely Lulu by driving their finger into his stomach. Polly and Luffy talk inside. Polly asks Luffy why he's come to the mansion and apologizes for thinking he tried to kill Iceberg, and asks if Luffy is strong enough to take on the assassins. Luffy affirms this, and Polly tells Luffy to fight with him because he wants to beat them and refuses to let Iceberg get killed by outsiders. Polly laments that Iceberg taught him everything he knows and made him into a proper shipwright, so he doesn't care what happens to him as long as he can beat the assassins to a pulp. Luffy agrees to fight alongside him and they yell, struggling against their restraints. 9:45 p.m. Someone takes Lucci's hat off his corpse. All the shipwrights in the hall have been taken down. Back in Iceberg's room, the assassins have gathered. Iceberg tells them they should leave since he has nothing to give them, and the skull-masked assassin expresses disdain. A pigeon wearing a tie then flies into the room as Iceberg expresses confusion and lands on the bull-masked assassin's shoulder. He asks what he should tell first to a dying man and takes off his mask, revealing to himself to be Rob Lucci, the not-so-mute Galley Law foreman. The others reveal themselves in turn as Kaku, Khalifa, and Bluno. Cipher Pol No have made themselves known. Iceberg is shocked that these four were working for the government. Lucci asks once again about the whereabouts of Pluton's blueprints, this time threatening to harm more innocent people if he does not tell them that instant.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You asked me a couple of chapters ago. At that point, I did not see it coming. This was absolutely a surprise to me.
Did you ever see any of it coming? Did you have ever any thought about I wonder, or it was just boom, oh my god, what?
Yeah, I did not think that the foreman would be in the CP9. That was a complete shock.
Good job, Oda.
Yeah.
Good job, Oda.
For each unmasking, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. I actually
Kaku too.
Kaku.
Yeah, especially after seeing Lucci and Kaku's dead bodies outside. That was such a misdirect. Because at that point, you don't question is that actually their bodies? You don't think anything of it. You just accept oh man, they got defeated that easily. Oh no.
Yeah, I look back to him was I fooled? But no, those dead bodies actually looked like those characters.
Mm.
It was a good mislead.
Yeah, I think they put a fake nose on the Kaku impersonator too.
yeah, they show the up close later on or in this chapter.
Which is only for the reader. Nobody walking by needs to know that that's actually Kaku's dead body.
Really, yeah.
Yep.
When they look at him real quick, they'll be oh wait, his nose comes off. That's not Kaku.
So, Evan, there was actually a slight bit of foreshadowing in last week's volume that I actually sent to Joel because I didn't catch it my first time reading it.
Oh, cool. What was it?
It was when Corgi first comes to the shipyard and the Straw Hats hide. All the foremen are talking about, oh, okay, it's these guys with Iceberg. And Polly's like, hey, should we like do something? And Lucius Hattori says, oh, it's got nothing to do with us. It's probably about power. And then Kaku says, no, you don't want to mess with the world government. And I'm just like,
yeah. So
Damn.
from last week, yeah, I think Lucci had a line as well that kind of in hindsight, it makes it seem like both Kaku and Lucci like were a little bit more reverent to the world government than like a lot of the other people were. And Lucci had said that he had contacts in the world government that confirmed like Nicaraguan was with the Straw Hats. So that line at the time was not like super suspicious, but now with this new context, it's like, okay, so he's actually part of this organization, so he would have direct access to like this top secret information. So like he kind of used that information here to kind of like tie the Straw Hats to this whole incident. So this is like working into their plan of like kind of framing the Straw Hat. So like from that point, Lucci was like
he was always
like,
in
basically
deep.
planning this. Yeah,
he was in there.
Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
Yeah, did not see that coming. Especially like Lucci and Polly's like interactions, like they almost had like kind of like a brotherly sort of connection. I feel
I think it was more confrontational. I feel like they
thought it was like a brotherly. Depends
on the brotherly.
I thought it was like a sibling. I thought it was like a sibling rivalry kind of.
I took it more like they oppose each other. Like I feel like they didn't see eye to eye, so they were kind of like I could see it being like a brother like kind of squabbling, but I see it more as like they just like didn't get along, so like gotcha. they got into like fighting. So I think this kind of also shows like Paulie might have not like Paulie probably had a better reason not to like Lucci than he actually thought to be the case. But yeah.
Oh, I see you.
Yeah. I definitely didn't see it coming. That was total shock.
But wait, is the pigeon part of CP9?
Don't you besmirch my poor Hattori.
No, the second Hattori flew in, you knew everything was fucked up. You knew this whole situation was just not okay.
But I think Hattori's still calling the shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a big reveal. I'm glad that Evan now knows the truth. Like this is like one thing I was like really hoping that like we didn't accidentally like let something slip.
Yeah.
So we had to be like very careful with like what details we mentioned. But yeah. So this is one that I was worried might get like kind of like we're trying to protect that for you. So I'm glad that it hit for you.
Yeah, it totally hit. I was shocked.
Good. It's
yeah. Intense.
Just that spread at the end of the four of them.
Ta-da. We betrayed you. Everything you know and love is a lie.
It's all a lie.
Welcome. Woo-hoo.
I'm actually
about the blueprint.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say I'm really jealous of Evan actually because I actually didn't get to experience this like as its own realization because and it's my own damn fault because it was 2008 or 2006 and it's like, oh, I have the internet, I can learn whatever I want to. I like One Piece. What's kind of One Piece? Ooh, a guy with a pigeon. Ooh, government, like, and the impact was lost on me. And so this whole volume I've been thinking, okay, like I feel like there has to be. I'm just curious about the anticipation of it and just like getting someone's perspective of experiencing this for the first time. And I'm just really glad that Evan got to.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that I didn't screw up and spoil it for him. Because I was really worried about this whole time, and I hope I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we're good about it. So
we're good, and don't worry. There's no other major spoilers. There's no other major
for the rest
spoilers.
of the series.
The rest
Nothing
of the
else happens.
It's just everyone sits in a room together. It's fine.
This is the climax of the. Yeah, that's it.
No,
yeah.
But to
no more surprises.
To Cody's point, this is why you cannot go on the internet at all.
Yeah,
because you might come across.
Ever.
Yeah, I know. Well, I haven't. I've been like.
Yeah.
I've been on a strict regimen of no One Piece spoilers.
I get,
But
it's so
honestly, I
bad.
prefer it that way. Like, I don't like watching a lot of trailers. I don't like having a lot of spoilers or previews. So
That's how I am too.
yeah, I like experiencing everything for the first time naturally.
And just also to tie back to like a scene that we had earlier in this volume, where Robin was meeting with somebody. I believe it was Lucci and possibly Kaku might have been standing, but I think Lucci was one sitting at the table with Robin. Like you can see, like if you go back and look at the eyes and the shape of his face, I think it's most likely Lucci. But now with those details, like I think that now connects those dots a little bit more. So that was
so interesting. And like Robin's kind of been MIA this whole time as the Straw Hats have been meeting the foreman, the Galley Law people. So it's kind of like all of these different circles are now coming together.
Yeah,
everything's converging.
Like they've already formed their opinion on the Galley Law foreman before finding out that they are actually agents, CP9 agents. And Robin's a government agent. Like what? I know we already stated that, but it's still pretty wild.
Yeah.
But she's wanted by the government, I thought. So what does it all mean?
What's going on? Yeah.
Is this like one of those situations
where that was Iceberg's confusion as well?
Is this one of those situations where like the CIA hires the hacker that hacked into the CIA or something? And like,
could be.
Yeah.
And then I also wanted to point out that it's funny that Luffy escaped from being stuck between the buildings to now being stuck in the rings in another room after being stuck in the wall. So
after being stuck in the wall.
I was having such a hard time figuring out what to
real
call
streak.
those rings.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, they're like little croquet hoops, but not really. Or like imitation bull horns, or like horseshoes that are really sharp.
Horseshoes.
Like what?
Big staples.
Big. I like big staples. I'm putting money for big staples.
That's dope. I was just really.
They got to be like horns, though, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
I think they are horns
because there's got to be a theme.
Yeah.
There's got to be a theme. He's wearing like a bull head. So.
But why so many?
Which is like
where did they come from?
Like a great misdirect because like you have Lucci, who looks nothing like a bull underneath the bull mask, but then the guy whose hair looks like bull horns is under a completely different mask.
Yeah,
that's so funny. Yeah, and this character Baluna that we didn't really know, like he got introduced in this volume, but yeah, he's like the guy from the bar, so he probably picks up on information as well by working at the bar. And he heard the conversation with Kokoro earlier, her talk about CP9, so he was there when she was like talking about this.
Yeah,
so I think
it's like Baluna. I feel like in that meme at the party in the corner, like they don't know I'm in CP9.
I heard CP9 is really cool. They look like really cool people in the CP9.
Guys, I hear they're really good at their jobs. Like, don't.
I was wondering if there were any hints before, and if you guys were going to be like, "How did you not know?" Like it was so obvious. But
I hope there
honestly,
wasn't.
I feel like it was like there really weren't that many clues giving away.
There really isn't.
Who these people were. There really isn't a lot of like. There is, like you said, foreshadowing in the last volume, but you would never know that unless you were looking backwards.
Yeah, little signs that like Kaku and Lucci were kind of bootlickers, just like a little bit here and there.
Tell us how you really feel, Joel.
But yeah, nothing like super like specific.
Yeah.
Although I also did think Kaku's comment earlier in the volume talked about like how like the pirates basically have no protection under the laws of the world government. He's like, so we can kill you. So like I think that's also interesting here too.
Right.
Yeah.
These guys
but back then it was also like these are shipwrights that have to deal with pirates all the time, and so they don't really put up with pirate bullshit, you know?
Yeah. But I guess we can see how like or why Kaku kind of has that stance as like under the world government laws, like I can kill you. Like it's not about like a moral thing. It's like I can kill you like by law, and that's okay.
Yeah,
it's the purge every day for y'all.
such a cool reveal, and like it could have just been 4 random assassins, but it's not. It's 4 characters
Could have
that
been.
we've grown to learn over the past couple of volumes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Right. Any other thoughts on this one?
Actually, yeah, I really, really, really love the interaction between Luffy and Polly in this chapter.
Yeah.
I feel like Polly's very much been that very brash. I'm trying to find the right word for it, but not cold, but brutally honest and just prickly kind of guy. But it's
Rude.
just he's so vulnerable. Yeah. He just wants to protect Iceberg. And it was really nice getting to see him let that wall down for a second.
Yeah. And he did put his life on the line too, going after this blueprint. That's a fake. But like he knew this was an important thing for Iceberg, so he put his life on the line for it.
And Iceberg said, "Hey, just run."
Right. Yeah.
But he didn't.
Yeah, Iceberg didn't want to put him in danger, but there was still a risk.
I'm just saying, I love Polly. It's 10 out of 10 chapter. Oda. Great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like how they have the moment where they decide to like bury the hatchet and be like, "No, what? Let's team up together. You know, let's try to course correct here." You know.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
All right, so let's move on to Gidatsu's Unexpected Life on the Blue Sea, Volume 30. Gidatsu, the Blue Sea Boss. Gidatsu stands on the balcony of the building, achieving his goal of being the boss of the Blue Sea.
He's actually pouting correctly. He's not biting his lip.
Oh.
He's got an actual serious face on.
Some growth. And he's crossing his
Big
arms.
Moves.
I just noticed he's crossing his arms.
It's coming
correctly.
together.
Correctly.
Well, that's huge.
Wow. That is big.
Not even noticed that, but yeah,
It's got his shit together.
like a boss. All right, let's wrap up this volume with chapter 346, The Ninth Justice. Zoro's defeated all of the shipwrights using the backs of his blades as not to kill them. Luffy squeezes his head through the iron ring that was trapping him, then frees Polly. The members of CP9 tell Iceberg that they have taken their job seriously these past 5 years, even though they were undercover. The time they could devote to this mission has come to an end. Lucci explains that Iceberg may be aware of CP 1 through 8, but CP9 is an off-the-books organization that allows him to take the life of citizens who do not cooperate in the name of justice. He says those in power need the ancient weapon to put an end to this age of pirates. Iceberg warns that much power will only cause more destruction, even the hands of the government. Lucci does not like this response and attacks Iceberg. He has Kaku check his pulse while Lucci presents his theory, like a lie detector. Lucci states that even though Iceberg had a plan to leak the fake blueprints, he made no attempt to move the real blueprints, which would indicate that they are already in someone else's possession. In 5 years of observation, they have not seen an indication of another successor. However, he notes that there are 3 names on the fake blueprints: Tom, Iceberg, and Cutty Flam. Most people would not find this information useful, but having been here for the past few years, they have determined that the legendary shipwright had only 2 apprentices, one being Iceberg himself, and another that had died in an accident 8 years ago, or at least they were led to believe. Only one time, 4 years ago, a man came by the Galileo company using the name Cutty Flam. This man has since changed his name to Frankie. Iceberg's pulse gave it away that Lucci was indeed correct. CP9 prepares to depart in search of Frankie, but at this moment, Luffy and Polly crash through the wall, while Zoro slices down the door with Nami and Chopper behind.
Oh my god.
Reveal after reveal, man.
Yeah, more bombshells.
Damn.
10 out of 10 monologue.
Luffy getting out of the restraints and being like, "I'm out because I'm rubber." They made me laugh. That was absolutely hilarious. I'm
Good
out
luck.
because I'm made of rubber.
Woo!
That's a great shot too of him squeezing his head out of the staple there.
Yeah.
That's a great shot.
And then Zoro, I like Zoro's face in the first page after he defeated everybody using the back of the blades. I was like, you know that you could have killed him still, right?
Yeah, surprised he went full 3 sword style.
You have Chopper just so like legitimately impressed in the background.
Yeah.
Yep.
So cute.
Oh, buddy.
And then Zoro still finds a way to go the wrong way. Like, they're like, follow us, we're going this way. Zoro's still going the wrong direction.
Oh, perfect.
Classic.
Oh, these CP9 guys, they are just a master class in long form improv.
Yeah. They should be on
Wow,
Who's
like-
Line.
They really. Scenes for hat. Things you can say to your boss, but not to an assassination target. Like, man, okay, consent is like the biggest thing that separates acting from lying, but if I could like put on a performance like Kaku, damn, you know? He deserves an Oscar.
Yeah, it seems like they all were very skilled at their undercover work. They've been here for 5 years. Like, you know, gaining trust of the people and trying to pick up information. But yeah, so they say that, like, all right, so the time that we can actually devote to this is like come to an end. Like, we need to we have to stop this operation like one way or the other. So like our hands have been forced. We haven't been able to make as much progress as we'd like. Now we take drastic measures, and this is where we are.
Plus, the whole island's about to sink, so there's that. Also, time constraint.
Yeah,
I thought it was interesting getting a little more detail on CP9 as opposed to CP 1 through 8. It's like beyond the law for the sake of the law, or whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
That seems like a little bit of a.
Yeah.
What are you say, Sean?
You keep going. I gotta do a little Googling.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say it seems kind of interesting to have this law enforcement who are like beyond the law. You know, it seems kind of like a oxymoron.
They give them like free reign, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
The idea of like a secret extra division of this, it sort of comes into mind of like MI6, the James Bond Secret Intelligence Service thing, was not officially recognized until like they didn't like acknowledge it as being real, the British government, until 1994.
Oh wow.
So, which is like holy shit, yeah.
Wow.
And Evan did mention MI6 as when we heard
Right.
CP9, you're like, oh, it's like MI6. But like not knowing the actual context of it, but that actually makes a better comparison than we realized.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Cipher Pol is like Interpol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about MI 1 through 5?
But how about this reveal about this Cuddy Flam person?
Cuddy Flam. It's gonna be my new nickname. It's gonna be my new alias when I go to bars. Call me Cuddy Flam. Yeah. I thought this was a great reveal. Also, did not see that coming. Frankie being the predecessor of the blueprint.
Yeah, so he was a co-apprentice with Iceberg. So you had mentioned earlier in the volume how it seemed like he had some kind of familiarity with Iceberg in a way. So these were two apprentices from like the legendary shipwright Tom.
Wow.
Who we now can suspect that he might actually have access to like this blueprint for the ancient weapon. So this guy who's like off the rails, this Frankie dude, who was like, he's been very destructive. So yeah, this is in his hands.
Unstable.
I just love how Lucci goes through this entire chain of events. And I feel like this is how a lot of like One Piece theorists just go through all these little, okay, well, this person was here like 50 chapters ago, you know? And they said one thing to this guy at the shipyard, and I feel like a lot, like just like as someone who's has like as a crackhead about like One Piece theories as I am, I feel like this is how the way Lucci presents what he has to say is how I feel like I am and how like everyone on Reddit like feels like they are about One Piece.
Yeah.
But Lucci happens to be right. So good for him.
Hey, sometimes
meantime,
those
the whole
details
time-
work.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like the whole time, Kaku's got his hand on the pulse, so it's like
Yeah.
getting like it's like a that was so good. It was like a lie detector kind of test.
Yeah.
Just added another level of suspense to it. Yeah, another great reveal. I feel like this has had a bunch of great reveals this whole arc so far. A solid mystery that's slowly unraveling and then ends in total chaos.
Yeah, so I think Oda does like a really great job with this arc so far. It's like setting up and establishing these things, and even though we haven't seen these characters for that long, like we did kind of get the sense of like trust, and we started to like these characters, started to get these attachment to them, and they just pulls right from underneath us and like turns everything on its side. And like this Frankie character that we saw earlier, like now he's getting pulled back into this in some way. Like there's like all these like little bits of information now like just being turned like sideways, and now we have to like recontextualize like everything that's been presented to us in this entire arc, and now try to put together the pieces like how they all fit together, like because like we had like all the puzzle pieces, but they were like we had them like in the wrong spots, or like oh, I didn't notice this piece over here. It's like all these like little like tidbits are now like become a little bit clearer.
So good. Yeah, I can't. Wait. I cannot wait for more. I cannot wait for the next scene because this one ended on a doozy.
Yeah.
We got everybody in one place except for Sanji. Who knows where Sanji is? Like Sanji just kind of disappeared after he saw Robin.
Hopefully he doesn't leave the crew too.
But he had a plan, so we'll see.
All right. Yeah. So, any other thoughts on the chapter or the volume as a whole?
CP9's going hard on the moral absolutism.
Another great volume.
We have crossed over from a shonen manga into, well, it's still a shonen manga, but it's a spy manga that a shonen protagonist has punched his way through into. And it's like, well, how do we deal with this now? It's like if, I don't know, Van Wilder kicked his way into a James Bond movie. Here's my dated reference for all you millennials. Jesus.
It's cool though. I think Oda's kind of added like a little more mystery and intrigue to each arc that we've gone through, starting from like Alabasta, which had kind of the mystery of the poneglyphs and all that kind of stuff, and then
definitely
going into like Skypiea, there was the mystery of Shandora and the entire history of these cultures and the forming of the farce and like all of that. And cool. I feel like he's kind of ramped up the mystery in each of the last three major arcs. And this one's like a fun conspiracy theory with spy assassins who work for the government. Like, yeah, it's just been really cool. Really enjoying it. I can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah, lots of good stuff. And for me personally, like I love like the world building and like the more lore we get. Like that's like the stuff that like gets me the most excited. So like getting more of that, like this is like right up my alley. Like this volume, like this is the kind of stuff like I get really excited about when we find out this information. Like so yeah, a volume like this like really speaks to me. Yeah, so I really enjoy this one personally.
Excellent volume. It's got intrigue, it's got humor, it's got action, it's got rising tension, it's got everything you want.
Yeah.
It's a great shift for this entire arc because, oh man, these stakes just got a lot higher when they were already ridiculous.
All right. So that will conclude this week's episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. You can find this episode wherever podcasts are found at We Are Reading One Piece podcast.buzzsprout.com or on the YouTube channel at We Are Reading One Piece. This is a spoiler-free channel up to where we record the podcast, so if you're new to the series, you can visit the channel there. You can also find me and this podcast on my YouTube channel at Pirate King Codex for various One Piece content. Next episode, we'll be discussing Volume 37, Mr. Tom. I've been Joel, and I've been joined by Sean.
This has been Sean.
Evan.
Thanks for listening.
And Cody.
Keep it super.
All right. Well, be sure to bring along all of your hopes and dreams, and we'll see you on the next episode.